Why, hi there. I'm Ron Juckett, and it's time once again for the DoDCast postgame show for this August 22nd, 2017. And oh boy, was that a big win for the Washington Nationals. It certainly is. A happy recap tonight as they defeat the Houston Astros, the first of three at Minute Maid Park. They win 4-3 as Brandon Kintzler gets out of a bases-loaded jam in the eighth, and Sean Doolittle throws as my cat gets in the picture. You have anything to say about the game, Em? Anything to say at all about the game? And Brandon Kintzler Sean Doolittle throws a perfect ninth inning. Let's see what my cat does here. She's going to try to poke me, I'm sure. It was a big win as the Astros have the best record in the American League. I'm not kidding when I said that this is possibly a World Series preview. Let me get to the totals. I'm laughing because Killer Cat over here, you can see her shadow, has moved out of the camera range so I can't see her. She's still trying to poke me. You'll see a paw. All right, the totals. 4 runs, 6 hits, and an error for Washington. They go to 75-48. You're just full of pieces about this, aren't you, Emily? Houston falls to 76-49, 3-9-0. Another win, and Washington would have the second best record in baseball if they win tomorrow night. Tanner Roark, we'll get to his start in a bit. 10-8 on the year with a win. Charlie Morton takes a loss. He goes to 10-6. Sean Doolittle picks up his 15th save. I believe that's his 12th, Emily, with the Washington Nationals, and she just looks so thrilled as I tell her that. With runners in scoring position tonight, they went 2 for 8. They only stranded 3, and yes, Rendon did get a credit for that stolen base in the 9th inning. Rendon with the double, his 29th of the year. Taylor with a 17th double. Kendrick with that big bases clearing triple. And Matt Wieters with a 2-run shot, his 9th of the year. So lots of extra base hits for the Nats. They only had 6 hits tonight, and 1, 2, 4 of them were extra base hits. The error came on Defoe's throw. All right, so let's see what you guys are talking about. Seth says, hi, Doolittle's up in the zone and just blowing a by guy. So impressive. Yeah, they just rising fastballs of between 93 and 95, and it's just extremely effective. It just happens to work, and he just looks really comfortable out there. We'll get to the other stuff in a bit. Howie Kendrick with a diving grab together. His defense, he's not going to hurt you out there. That wasn't mentioned on Twitter before it happened. I'm 2 or 3 pitches behind the beat writers, and so I know what's going to happen, and no one mentioned how the game ended. Just a very good catch. Lots of good defense on this game from both sides. And it says, this is how we do it. Should I sing it? You're just so impressed. This is how we do it, baby. La, 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 la. All right, let's get to the pitching lines. Roark, 5 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned. The Defoe throwing error caused one. And I don't believe this. He only walked 1, did Roark, and struck out 7. 115 pitches. I don't know why, but he threw that many. But 75 strikes. Just grinding at bats. There was 2 or 3 that were double digit. He just couldn't really get anyone out. He relied much more on striking out batters than he ever does. Just really couldn't induce a lot of contact. Oli Perez, 2/3 of an inning, 9 pitches, 6 strikes. Joe Blanton nearly was decapitated on the 1 hit he allowed. 2/3 of an inning, a walk and a strikeout. Brandon Kintzler ends up with the bases loaded in the 8th and gets out of it unscathed in the inning, 2 hits and a walk. That walk was intentional. He didn't throw any pitches for it. And Sean Doolittle with a clean 9th inning and a strikeout for save 15. Let's see. Blanton threw 15 pitches for 8 strikes. Kintzler, 15 pitches for 12 strikes, which shows you that he didn't throw any pitches on the walk. And Doolittle retired the side on 8 pitches, 6 of them for strikes. Morton goes 6 innings for Houston, 5 hits, 4 runs, all earned. He walked 1 and struck out 6, including the home run. And Davinsky and Gregerson, I spelled Gregerson wrong, closed it out for Houston. On a night that said 23,798. Umpiring wasn't that great tonight. Roark thought he was out of 1 inning. Should have been inconsistent strike zone all night. But it worked. I mean, they grinded their way to a win. Sometimes they aren't pretty. But it's effective nonetheless. It's a win is a win is a win. So they'll take it. And they're going to lose a half game in the standings because Miami's in the process of taking a doubleheader from the Phillies. They won the first game. It was 9-5 the last time I looked. And I believe we'll look at the scores in a second. So let's see. I guess I'll go quickly with elsewhere in baseball. Let's take a look at the scoreboard as Seth keeps talking about it in the chat. Did the Marlins take a doubleheader? Why, yes, they did. They won 7-4 and 12-8. So the lead is 13.5 games now because Miami gained 1, and they're actually now at 500. They're 62-62. Oakland beat Baltimore tonight at the state in Baltimore 6-4. Diamondbacks beat the Mets 7-4. Doug Fister threw a 1-hitter tonight for the Red Sox as they beat Cleveland 9-1. He threw a complete game. The Cubs beat the Reds 13-9. Let's see, other National League or playoff games, or NL East games. Atlanta shut out Seattle 4-0. Kansas City hung on to beat Colorado 3-2. So good news for Arizona. While the Padres beat the Cardinals 12-4. Milwaukee leads San Francisco 2-1 at the bottom of the 4th, and the other game is an American League West game. And in that Yankee game against the Tigers, Aaron Judge did not strike out tonight. Gary Sanchez hit a 493-foot home run. Thanks for that, Seth, and I'm glad that college is going well for you. Did you start classes yet, or are you just settling in? So that's what's going on around the majors. Just a really big win. I mean, this was one of the nights where the Nats didn't look all that great. Houston didn't really either, for that matter. Just kind of like a middle round of a boxing match, like the 6th or 7th round of a 12-round championship match, just kind of throwing leather at each other to see if anything would stick. And Houston at the end gave it everything that they had when they had their bases loaded. The double play that Rendon turned was amazing. He kind of had trouble getting it out of his glove. Murphy double clutched with a throw, and then the throw to Zim drew him off the bag, but he somehow kept his foot on it. And that pretty much that, and Judo, who's not with us tonight, I don't believe in the chat, said that another turning point was an Altuve fly ball to center to end the 7th inning that Michael A. Taylor went and tracked down. That was pretty big. And because of Taylor's speed, he was able to flag that down. If you're not really familiar with Minute Maid Park, that is a big park. And because the roof is closed, it doesn't get really hot. So all that hot air, which as you know can turn Nats Park into a bandbox at times, doesn't happen. It's air conditioned. So just good defense by the Nats to help lock that down. And as we said a few minutes ago, what about Doolittle and that rising fastball? Just got people to swing and miss at them. Okay, so Seth tells me he's had a week of classes. Glad you're enjoying it. Doolittle is 12 for 12 in save situations since joining the Nats. He's 15 overall on the year. That's pretty impressive right there. And he's been doing it clean. Judo is here. So, yeah, it was the end of the 7th, right, when Altuve, who's one of my favorite players, not on a team that I root for, hit the fly ball that Taylor tracked down. that almost would have made it to Towels Hill before they tore it out. And what about Weeder's home run tonight? He's been slumping a bit. I believe he was 0 for his last 16. And no, that's not true. He hadn't hit a homer since the Grand Slam at Wrigley. He just crushed that one tonight, and it barely left the yard, and it measured at 427 feet. So the Nats get good production from a lot of different people tonight, and just an overall team effort on a night when Roark didn't have his best stuff. Seth said, as I predicted, sorry for keep bringing up about the bullpen. Don't be sorry about it. I mean, we didn't at the time realize that trade would happen, and it really has worked. We're not quite sure about how bad Ryan Madsen's finger is, though. It's an injury that no one is quite sure what to do with, and it's just that one finger. It's not broken, so they're saying, but they're not sure when he'll be able to pitch again. He did a side session over the weekend, and it still felt uncomfortable. My guess is, and this is just purely a guess, is that he probably has some sort of ring, stress fracture, the same as Scherzer had, but that's just a guess. Ending was fun despite nobody scoring. Yeah, that was tense. I mean, that felt like a playoff game there at the end. Drew Douglas, our other college guy, says, good to see Weeder's homer and throw a runner out. Yeah, it was. He hasn't thrown a lot out this year. Not to mention his 11-pitch walk. Yeah, that was strange. He just battled and battled and battled. I mean, it took almost 2 hours to play the first half of this game. But we got it. We got the second half in before 11:30. Seth says that Trey Turner will be returning back to 29. So will Jason Worth. The plan is right now they will play tomorrow in Syracuse. They'll take Thursday off. They will play Friday night in Potomac, and I think play up by ear. Remember, gang, it's a split doubleheader on Sunday, and they can call up a 26th player. So you might see Turner called back up for the doubleheader, depending on how well he does. If not, he'll be back up next week for the return of the Miami Marlins. So sorry to hear that Seth's neck is doing bad, and glad to see that Judo has a new apartment and starts his new job at NASA on Monday. Congratulations, Judo. So I think Worth probably will be the 29th. They may make 2 moves that day, but I wouldn't be surprised. I'm putting this on record now. I would not be surprised if Turner was the 26th player for the doubleheader Sunday. Remember, it's against the Mets, 1 o'clock and 8 o'clock, and we'll have a treat for you coming up sometime over the weekend because that game is on ESPN. Let's take a look at the minor league scoreboard as our college guys talk amongst themselves. Syracuse did beat Lehigh Valley tonight, 7-4. It was I'm not doing math this late. Anyway, Rafael Martin gets the win. He goes to 4-2. Wander Suero picks up his 10th save of the year. Brandon Snyder had 2 home runs. He has 19 on the year for the Chiefs. Matt Skoll hit his 9th, and Spencer Keyboom hit his 3rd. I hope I have the right Keyboom. Worth, I believe, went 1 for 3. Turner's struggling a bit with the bat, but Turner's injury is a hand injury, and so I'm sure he's not feeling all that comfortable. Harrisburg beat Akron 7-6 tonight. Dragmeyer with his 4th win of the year. He goes to 4-1 with a 2.89 ERA. Robinson with his 11th save. Roddy Reed, who Ricky wrote about earlier this week, with his 17th home run. Abreu hit his 5th. And Jose Marmolejos, I believe, was only a triple short of the cycle. Let me double-check that. He has 14th home run anyway. Did he hit for the cycle? He fell a double short of the cycle. Marmolejos went 3 for 5. He scored 3 times. He's hitting 280. And Roddy Reed now is hitting 275. He has 55 RBI. Let's see. Potomac losers to Salem tonight, 3-2. They held Salem to 3 hits over 9 innings, but 2 errors, I'm sure, proved costly. Wiseman with the homer for Potomac, his 12th. Lakewood beat Hagerstown 3-2. Rosier takes a loss. He goes to 2-4. No Auburn tonight that I see. The DSL Nats lost to the DSL Mets 6-3 in the Dominican. Gomez with a loss 6-3 with a 4.09 ERA. But Perez, W. Perez, had 2 homers. He has 3 now. For Washington, and Auburn and Williamsport were postponed due to rain. We had massive thunderstorms here just before, between 7 and 8. And the Marlins, the GCL Marlins and Jupiter beat the Nats 4-2. Guillen with a loss, he goes to 2-1 with a 3.42 ERA. And if you're wondering, the GCL Nats are 28-19. And that takes care of the minor league stuff. Let's see, anything there? As you guys all chat. So again, it was a very good team effort. Good outing for Matt Wieters, who, as Drew said, threw out a runner trying to steal and hit that big home run, along with, again, the nice night defensively for Rendon, especially in the latter part of the game. This was the big part, as Seth keeps telling us about. The Nats had a hard time locking down games, and by God, they did it. They needed to get a lot of tough outs out of the bullpen, and they scratched and saved, and they did it. And in the 9th, they did it rather easily. They didn't even put the tying run on in the 9th inning. So let's see. Seth mentions the big news in the world of sports outside of the baseball, that the Cleveland Cavaliers and Boston Celtics had a big trade tonight. Kyrie Irving goes to Boston for Isaiah Thomas, Jay Crowder, Ante Zizic, and the 2018 Nets first-round pick, which means only 4 players from the conference finalists Boston Celtics are on the roster when next season starts. All right. So I'll give you a minute to see if you want to talk about anything else about the game. It'll be Edward Jackson tomorrow, and I'll be with you for that 8:10 first pitch from Houston. And Ricky Keeler will be with you for Steven Strasburg against Dallas Keuchel on Thursday night at 8:10. What did we run on the site today? Oh, goodness. What did I write about? Did I write about anything today? No, Ricky had both the articles. And he did the preview, obviously, of this big series. And he talked about Jason Worth and Trey Turner's first night back in rehab, along with Eddie Romero looking really solid. And so I believe the Romero piece will go up in the morning, and I'll think of something to write for the afternoon. So, yeah, amazing as it might sound, guys, the next time, if the Nationals win tomorrow, they will have tied Houston for the second-best record in baseball. And if, by chance, they sweep the series, they will have the second-best record in baseball. That's amazing. All right, so you can follow us on Twitter at District On Deck. You can You can also give us a like and follow us on Facebook. We post everything on there, including all these podcasts, so you can watch them at your convenience. And at District On Deck. Give this video a like and subscribe here on YouTube at District On Deck. And, of course, the website itself is districtondeck.com. So, for Ricky Keeler and the rest of the staff of District On Deck, hope you guys are enjoying the early parts of school. I'm Ron Zuckin, and I'll talk to you tomorrow night. Have a very good night.